Brett, just obviously two halves there, but the third quarter, particularly offensively, it seems like you guys really had trouble getting things going there. What did you see?
No, I just thought we dug ourselves. We knew it was going to be closer than a 21-point game, but the way we played defense in the second quarter, again, our defense in the second and third has been bad all year when you compare it to the first and fourth. And so, for whatever reason, we're ready out of the gate. We're decent at the end, not tonight, but we're not very good in the middle. And so, I need to go back and look at, what I can do to, help us manage those minutes better. And today we just, obviously it's disappointing. You get in your head like that, you should win. But, credit them. They've won 3 games like this now on this road trip where they've been down 20.
And Kyrie's injury, anything more than just his status going forward?
I don't know anything about it. He's going to, from what I heard, he's going to further test tomorrow. And his knee buckled a little bit in the second quarter. And so that's all I know.
These third quarter issues especially have been a problem all season long.
Yeah.
At some point, the guys keep talking about we know what we need to do, but at some point, is this just who you are?
Well, if it is, we won't last long. So I guess that's at least right? So again, I think I've got to go back and look at first and foremost what I can do different. To help, and I just our play out of the half at times this year has been really slow, and so that was again today. But I thought that started with our defense in the second quarter. You could kind of feel it going the other direction, and it's that. And then we just got pounded again in the fourth.
But you talked a little before the game about you think teams can be dangerous in situations. Doc said before the game, he goes, look, we haven't installed anything. We're just going to kind of do what we can with this group. What in these situations makes teams?
They played very together. They played off of actions that all those guys have probably run in different places that were probably easy installs for being able to play off one game, and they played very free after that first quarter, and to their credit, they found a great enthusiasm together, and I think Doc has done a great job with this team. And obviously this is a brand new team, or at least half of it. But this whole year they've played with such great teamness and resolve. And you don't come back from 20-point deficits if you don't really like each other and really pull for each other. And I think that those guys show that night after night. It's a real credit to him and his staff and all those players that are there and aren't there.
Yeah, Coach, you worry about a trend after you lose a game like you did Thursday,
yeah.
A game like this?
Yeah, I think these things, every year your trends change as the year goes on, both good and bad. But it is disappointing to have 20-point leads in consecutive games and lose. That's for sure. And again, I think that I need to look at myself first and figure out what I can do to help that not happen. If that means we need to play different rotations, call different things, start differently in quarters than we are, whatever the case may be. There's an answer out there, and we have to find it.
Right. It seemed maybe once the Clippers got within 10, it seemed like you guys started pressing hero ball. Yeah, I mean, what did you see mentally? Then you just said teams that come back from 20-point leads have to like each other a lot. Do you think your team likes each other?
Yeah, I mean, we've done that for the last 2 years. I feel like that's been a good thing of our team, but that was a notice of their personnel and their group. So I don't want that taken out of context. But at the end of the day, ultimately, I thought we certainly got tense and tight on the offensive end of the court as they were coming back, and we didn't get any stops. We had that little stretch where we took the 6-point lead late, but then we just bang gave up those 2 threes. I mean, it's it was time and again tonight we just couldn't sustain it.
why were they so comfortable shooting threes, Shamet? And then Beverly, the two in the corner, it seemed like they got a lot of open looks in the fourth
Wide
quarter.
open. It's easy to shoot those. Shamet lost us on his cuts. We lost him in transition in a situation where we had a number of guys on one side of the floor, and we, for whatever reason, got a little confused with picking up the ball or the corner, and so we didn't get that covered. And then Beverly's was good kickouts by Harrell when we were paying a lot of attention to Williams off the pick and roll, which, you know, pick your poison. You don't pay attention to Williams off the pick and roll, you're probably screwed. So, you know, at that point in time, you're in a bad position because of the position that we put ourselves in by not scoring the ball and by not guarding in the second and third quarter.
Right, on some of those threes in the fourth quarter, it seemed like there were plays where like one guy was responsible for two guys on the same side of transition, or was trying to jump over a screen while someone was cutting. Do you generally want them to try to go under those screens, or take the closest guy to the ball and try to be more conservative with it?
Without getting too into our rules of how we want to play, I think everybody wants to be attached to shooters in the league. So, you know, when you get too far behind, the rest of the team has to make up for that, whether it's in transition or whether it's off in action.
Brad, in the third quarter, I wonder if you could take us inside your strategic decision to not call a timeout when they were making their huge run.
I called one early, right?
It was early, somewhere in the 20-point. You were still up 20 or 17 or something like that.
I think we were up 16 and we ended the quarter up 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe I should have at 8 or 10. You know, my error is always on the side of letting us play through it and having to find ways. So you can save those going into the fourth, but you know, ultimately, as I reflect back, maybe that's one of the things that I need to do different with this group. Maybe that'll help. Thanks.
Thank you, Drew.